Shabbat Shalom. Call Halal Yahweh Shemi Hawashai Shema Kakodash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders that came before them that taught us this truth. The Shabbat Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. I'm the brother Yahshua. I'm back with the WW3 Daily update. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to you as well. Last one for this week. Try to keep it short. Right. Basically, a couple of days ago, the so-called war in Ukraine and Russia ramped up, and Vlad is over there cruise missiling people to death, and they're running, basic raids, I guess, in different parts of Russia. So that thing is escalating. But not only that, things are escalating all over, all right? Not just that. All right, so we're going to start right here at Joel 3 and 9. We're going to read some different versions, okay? And then we're going to watch Dina. I'm going to let Dina deliver the update. So this is start with the King James. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. And this is what we're watching, not just in Eastern Europe, but in every theater, okay? The South China Sea, the Valley of Yahushua, which is the Middle East, that's ramping up, okay? Japan, Turkey, Greece, everything. There's war in Africa, in Ethiopia. All right, so the world really is at war in your face, whether you understand that or not. The NIV, proclaim this among the nations. Okay, prepare for war, rouse the warriors, let all the fighting men draw near and attack. All right. NLT, say to the nations far and wide, all of them, all around the world, get ready for war. Call out your best warriors. Let all your fighting men advance for the attack. Proclaim this among the nations. Consecrate for war. Stir up the mighty men, as in, I will stir up the Medes, right? Most High said, I will stir up the Medes against them. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. All right, pretty much the same. Prepare for war. Prepare for holy war. Okay, stir up, as in stir up the Medes against them. All right, prepare for. Call out this message among the nations. Set yourselves apart for war. Okay. Proclaim this among the pagan nations. Prepare for a holy war. All right, pretty much all the same. Preach this among the Gentiles. Say to the nations, get ready for war. Be eager to fight. Line up for the battle and prepare to attack. These are fighting words, said the dragon. Make this announcement. Declare. Okay. This is a declaration of war. Declare this among the nations. Prepare for war. Wake up your elite forces. Let all the soldiers draw near. Call them up. Okay? All right, good enough. It's all pretty much the same. Where's the good news? Make this announcement among the nations. Prepare for war. Call your warriors. Gather all your soldiers and march. Okay. Good news usually breaks it down into layman's terms, if you will. Okay, so we're going to watch Dina Calmetta. She's going to deliver this is yesterday, 18 hours ago. She's going to deliver the update. She does a good job. She's pretty thorough. So, and this is 8 minutes. We'll see how far we'll go into it. All right, here we go. Israel may attack. See, that's the Valley of Yehoshaphat. Israel may attack Iran. That's in the Middle East. China sells warship near Guam. North Korea threatens Japan. That's on the Korean Peninsula. Turkey warns Greece. See all those different fronts? Here we go.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. It's Dina Kalmeta here. And for today's show, I do have a few short headlines I'd like to share with you. And I'd like to start with this first one in regards to China. It is being reported that China has sailed one of its 3 aircraft carriers near the U.S. territory of Guam.
And I want to say real quick, as you're watching this, this is prepare war. Bring all your mighty men to the fore. Okay? Let them come up. We're watching it in real time.
Chinese fleet, led by the aircraft carrier Lining, had already spurred several clashes with U.S. allies in the region, with its tour of the Western Pacific, most recently by conducting roughly 260 takeoff and landing drills near Japanese islands, which is home to a major U.S. military presence. The operations prompted the Japanese Air Force to scramble fighter jets and helicopters, as well as a destroyer and other elements of its self-defense forces. But Japanese officials also confirmed on Thursday that the Chinese vessels had transited to the south, near the western edge of territory the U.S. claims as part of the remote island of Guam, a critical element of America's ability to project military might in the region, as both a stopping point and a base for strategic Air Force bombers and Navy submarines. Chinese state news framed the deployment as an overt provocation to the U.S. and a warning against continuing behavior this year that has outraged Beijing. The report goes on to read that the Global Times stated the following: the operation showed that the Chinese carrier is ready to defend the country against potential U.S. attacks launched from there, including military interference attempts over the Taiwan question. Now, in addition to that, it's also being reported that a Chinese jet came within 20 feet of American military aircraft, according to the United States military. The U.S. Indo-Pacific Command said in a statement that the fighter pilot flew in front of and within 20 feet of the nose of the RC-135 aircraft, which was flying on December 21st of 2022. Officials stated that the U.S. Indo-Pacific Joint Force is dedicated to a free and open Indo-Pacific region and will continue to fly, sail, and operate at sea and in international airspace with due regard for the safety of all vessels and aircraft under international law. We expect all countries in the Indo-Pacific region to use international airspace safely and in accordance with international law. Now, in addition to that, Russia and China had just completed naval drills in the East China Sea after a week of joint exercises that included practicing how to capture an enemy submarine with depth charges and firing artillery at a warship. This is according to Russia's defense ministry. The exercises, entitled Maritime Interaction 2022, included Russia's Pacific Fleet and were carried out in waters in China's province. Russia's defense ministry stated that detachments of warships of the Pacific Fleet and the naval forces of the People's Liberation Army of China have completed practical tasks within the framework of the bilateral naval exercise. The 2 ships of the 2 countries, with the support of anti-submarine aviation, jointly searched for a submarine of a conditional enemy and fired a volley of jet depth charges. In the meantime, North Korea has threatened to take bold military steps against Japan in response to Tokyo's plans to make large increases in defense spending. The North Korean Foreign Ministry spokesman said of the plans last week that Japan's foolish attempt to satiate its black-hearted greed, the building up of its military invasion capability with the pretext of legitimate exercise of self-defense rights, cannot be justified and tolerated. Now, this particular rhetoric came just days after North Korea resumed weapons testing last week, firing 2 ballistic missiles over international waters that fell between the Korean Peninsula and Japan. Tensions have also been high with South Korea, most recently on Monday when North Korean drones violated South Korean airspace for the first time in 5 years, forcing the South Korean military to fire warning shots and scramble aircraft in an attempt to shoot down the drones. Now, with that said, it is also being reported that Israel could launch a military offensive targeting Iran's nuclear sites within a 2 to 3 year time frame, according to the defense minister, Benny Gantz. He said that the country had significantly increased its preparedness in recent years and is preparing the possibility of an attack on Iran. The outgoing Prime Minister Lapid clarified that such an attack would be a response to threats. He also warned enemies that no Israeli government will agree to Iran becoming nuclear. If it is necessary to act, we will act, he said. Now, Jordan's king says that he is prepared for conflict should the status of Jerusalem's holy sites change, as Israel has sworn in Benjamin Netanyahu. The king stated this month that there is concern in his country about those in Israel trying to push for changes to his custodianship of the Muslim and Christian holy sites in Israeli occupied East Jerusalem, he said, warning that it has red lines. He said that if people want to get into a conflict with us, we are prepared. I always like to believe that let's look at the glass half full, but we do have certain red lines, and if people want to push those red lines, then we will deal with that. Now, Benjamin Netanyahu's incoming government's coalition agreement begins with a declaration that the Jewish people have a natural right to the land of Israel. Regarding annexation of the West Bank, the agreement remains vague, but says that the Prime Minister will advance policies within whose framework the West Bank will be annexed, taking into consideration timing and both international and national interests. So definitely very interesting news here in regards to Israel. And we'll wait to see what happens. But finally, Turkey has warned Greece against expansion in the Aegean Sea. The Turkish foreign minister stated that he will not give Greece a single mile of territorial waters in the sea. We will not allow the expansion of Greek territorial waters, he said, by even 1 mile, let alone 12. His comments come in response to reports that Athens plans to extend its territorial waters around the island of Crete to 12 nautical miles. But the Turkish foreign minister recalled a 1995 Turkish parliamentary decision that states that if Greece increases its territorial waters in the sea beyond 6 miles, the parliament would provide the government with all powers, including military ones, in order to defend Turkey's national interests. The minister went on to warn Greece not to get into a sham heroism by trusting those who might have your back. Don't seek adventurism. It will not end well for you. Finally, it reports that just last week, the Greek government announced that it plans to extend its territorial waters to the south and west of Crete in March, citing favorable and international and regional developments. So definitely some very high tensions between Greece and Turkey. In fact, all over the world right now.
In fact, all over the world right now. All right? And that's good. What else is she saying here?
Almost seems like things are reaching a boiling point.
Yep.
And in fact, I'd love to hear what you guys think. So,
okay, here's what I think. All right? It's pretty easy to see. All right, and we'll close. All right? We'll close for the week right here. Revelation 11 and 14. All right, she put forth that's a pretty thorough update. As you can see, all over the world, this thing is building. All right, Revelation 11:14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Meaning, as you can see, I mean, they're fighting in some of these regions, right? They're fighting. Let's see, real quick. See, very few people know about it. 2 days ago, battlefield Ethiopia. Look at this. Ukraine, Bakhmut, Ethiopia. This guy stays on these two fronts. What's going on in Africa, if you will. See, nobody knows about that. Mainstream media only pushes Russia-Ukraine. This war, right, has been going on just as long as what's going on in Eastern Europe right now. So just keep that in mind. It's all over, right? The third will cometh quickly. All right, so with that, we're going to close right there. We hope that the elect were edified, you brothers and you sisters. With that, we're going to say Shabbat Shalom.